To my viewers, Dark Matters examines real cases and real evidence. Details may contain graphic information. With the study of violent crime, evidence is everything. Thus, viewer discretion is advised. She got in the car with him, which was a big mistake. And so instead of taking her to his house to get the pictures, he takes her for a drive. Now, this was in Fresno. He drives her up to Yosemite National Park, which is probably a good hour-and-a-half drive to get down to the valley. And she thought he was going to kill her. She was terrorized. He kept being nice to her in the drive, but he said, no, I just want you to see that I'm a nice person. And so he kept trying to convince her he was a nice person by abducting her, because this is an abduction. And he doesn't get that. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are at Dark Matters. A few years ago, I was teaching at a university on the West Coast, and I had several Asian students in my class from different countries. I think a couple were from Vietnam, possibly. Yes, I think Vietnam. I was talking about the psychopathy of stalking in class, and after class, she says, "So, Dr. Hickey, I need to share with you that I'm being stalked by a man." And she says, "So when I first came here, he befriended me, and he gave me a gift. I think a watch, or I can't remember what it was now, but he befriended, and he was very nice to me. And so I thought that's just the way Americans are. They're just nice people." But she didn't understand that because once he had given her a gift, in his mind, that they were together. That was his kind of thinking. Well, this man was a veteran. He was 6'3", 6'4", a really large man. And so she said, I've had to change jobs and hide because of him. He finds me and he leaves things on my car. He leaves flowers on my car. I've moved to be away from him, and he's left things. You have to understand that he had taken a lot of pictures of me, and I wanted the pictures back. So he said, okay, they're in my house. Come with me, because he was very nice to her. Come with me, and I'll get the pictures for you. So she got in the car with him, which was a big mistake. And so instead of taking her to his house to get the pictures, he takes her for a drive. Now, this was in Fresno. He drives her up to Yosemite National Park, which is probably a good hour-and-a-half drive to get down to the valley. And she thought he was going to kill her. She was terrorized. He kept being nice to her in the drive, but he said, no, I just want you to see that I'm a nice person. And so he kept trying to convince her he was a nice person by abducting her, because this is an abduction. And he doesn't get that. He's a little bit clueless. So after that, then she, of course, moved on. She didn't report to the police, but she did move again and change jobs. And I said, okay, so give me his name and phone number, and I'll call him for you. So I did. And I said, Ed, I understand that you're a stalker. Give me a call. I give him my phone number. So he calls me. I said, Ed, I want you to come to my office immediately. I need to talk to you about the fact that you've been labeled as a stalker. So he does. He comes to my office. He walks through my office door. There's a very large man, and I'm pretty tall, but not quite as tall as he was. But I thought, let's see what he's made out of. So I reached over to shake his hand. It was limp. And limp kind of tells you this guy's not going to be a tough guy. You know, he doesn't have he doesn't know really who he really is. That's kind of a telltale sign when you shake someone's hand. You know, you need to show that you are somebody, and your handshake means something. So I said, Ed, do you realize that what you're doing is criminal activity, that you can be arrested and go to prison for a very long time? Do you realize if she files charges against you for abducting her a few months ago, you'll be in prison for a very long time? Oh, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, you can't be writing letters to her. You can't be doing this. I know you're a veteran, and maybe you've got some PTSD, but I'm telling you, you can't do this. I know you don't mean her any harm, but you've got to stop. If you don't stop, you will go to prison. So no more letters, no more contacting them, the Asian students, because what he was doing, he would meet Asian students who couldn't speak the language very well. He'd befriend them and then help them out. And then, of course, once he helped them out and gave them a little gift, then they were his. Well, I said, it doesn't work that way. You can't do that. So then a few months later, I get an email from him. I'm so sorry, Dr. Hickey. I'm so sorry. I couldn't resist. I sent her a letter. Yeah, Ed, you shouldn't have done that. That's not a good thing. So, Ed, if you will go to prison if she reports you. You do realize that. I won't do it anymore. Okay. So we didn't. And she didn't file any charges. And years went by. And one day, I'm coming out of a church, like maybe 7 or 8 years later, I'm coming out of a church. And there's Ed the stalker. And he sees me. He waves to me. Dr. Hickey, I need to talk to you right now. It's urgent. Oh, so what is it? Well, I need to tell you something. I need to introduce you to my wife, who's from Vietnam. He'd gone over there and found himself a wife. Yeah. And then privately he took me aside. He said, you got to help me. She's kicking my ass. She was one tough lady. And and was just messing with him. And they've been married for 2 or 3 years. I said, it's karma. It's karma, Ed. Good luck. But you get what you deserve. So anyway, that turned out well, I guess, in a way. He was getting kind of tasting his own. He just didn't get it. He was clueless. It's interesting. Some men, they lack social skills, and so they don't see the big deal in following a woman home with her car to see where she lives. If the woman sees someone following them home, it makes them terrified. There's some guys following me. They don't get it. So some men lack the social skills. Other men know exactly what they're doing, of course, and they enjoy that kind of control. But it is what it is, right? It is a crime. So, by the way, if you're walking down the street and you cross the street and a male crosses the street behind you, that doesn't mean you're being stalked. But if he does it the second day and the third day, maybe you are. Maybe you're going to the same parking lot. Maybe you get off at the same time. But usually some pretty good indicators when you're being stalked. And so today, of course, we've got cyber stalking, all kinds of stuff on the internet, chat rooms and things where people get into it. And we'll get into sexual predators as stalkers later on, of course, and get into that darker stuff as well. But again, these types of stalking, and I have many more cases of stalking, unfortunately. And I feel very badly for the victims because people don't understand what they're going through. So again, please be aware, document if you are being stalked. Do not hesitate to get a restraining order. It won't stop a bullet, but it will be good documentation down the road if you need it in court. So that's really important. All right, so that's it for today. Please like us, subscribe to us. Please visit our website, our contact page, and we'd love to hear from you. All right, take care, everybody.